and welcome to my channel, and welcome to Bingo Sunday. I know I said I wasn't going to do bingos, these ones, because I don't like them, but you know what? I'm caving in. I had a couple of £10 wins on them. I'm not warming to them. I still don't like them, but you know, some of you like them, so here it is, Bingo Sunday. And I thought I'd try something a little bit different, something that I don't think any other scratch card channel has been brave enough to try. And you watch as it fails miserably. Now, you know when people scratch cards, they tend to have like their cheesy face over in the corner over here somewhere, something a bit like this. Hiya! And then you watch them scratching the cards. Well, I'm not a big fan of that. In all honesty, I don't enjoy it. I like seeing the cards. I don't like really watching the person. So that's why I've never done it, if you've ever wondered. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong in it. I'm really not trying to start something. I'm just not a big fan of it. You just basically would see the top of my head as I scratch cards. And I get enough grey hairs that I don't want to be showing them off that often. So I thought, I'll give it a try on bingo and only bingo. But rather than seeing me scratch cards, you can watch me waffling away at the top here, telling some stories, because Anna did say that she would like to hear some stories. So you're going to see my face at the top here as I scratch bingo, and as I scratch away, you will listen to me, waffling away. So eyes down. Let's go for a full house, all that malarkey. So here we go. This is either going to be a car crash or you're all going to hate it. But I tell you one thing, you can't accuse me of not trying something unique, something different. So here goes. I suppose all that remains is to wake up divvy pool. Oh, right. So whilst that div scratches the bingo cards, why don't I read you a story? So Anna, I know you wanted a story, so I got one from the 13 Ghost Stories from Whitby. Very scary. Now the idea was I was going to read this as I walked around and then walked around Whitby, but I'm doing it the wrong way around. I went to Whitby and now I'm reading it. So here we go. So I'm going to have to take my glasses off. I put my glasses on to read it, but anyway, here we go. Story time. The Bar Guest Coach. This is all from the book 13 Ghost Stories from Whitby. So I'm not making this up. So at one time, it was believed that if ever a sailor from Whitby died on land, then on the third night after his funeral, a ghostly black coach pulled by headless horses would go into St Mary's churchyard via Green Lane and pull up beside the grave. After a moment, a number of ghastly skeletal mourners would descend from the coach. These ghosts had obviously been seamen during their lives, for in the green light they cast about them, rags of nautical attire could be seen. Tattered pea jackets hung on bony shoulders, while here and there a rusty naval cutlass would clank against a mouldy hip bone. Well, that's really painting a picture, isn't it? Even the ghost of a ship's cook was present, his wooden leg riddled with shipworm, clinking against neighbouring headstones. The ghostly mourners, after walking round the grave 3 times, would summon up the dead man, and he would emerge from the ground, shrunken and yellowed like parchment paper. By now, the headless horses were impatiently stamping their hooves, churning up the turf, so the mourners and the recently exhumed companion would climb into the coach. It would then rattle down the street, turn up Henrietta Street, and plunge over the cliff into the sea. The explanation for all this nocturnal activity, given in those days, was that the souls of sailors must dwell with their companions beneath the waves until the day of judgment arrives. Today, we live in a more rational time. Do we? Do we really? And a couple of theories have developed to explain away this supernatural tale. The first theory is that the legend was invented by parents and smugglers to discourage children from looking out the windows at night. Sounds plausible. Since most people in Whitby were involved in or profited by smuggling. Ooh, there's a bit of libel coming up. Mind you, this is about the 1800s, so I don't think anybody will be suing. Since most people in Whitby were involved in or profited by smuggling, they had good reason to deter their children from learning too much or asking awkward questions. The other theory relates to actual events that occurred in St Mary's churchyard in the 18th century. It was the fashion amongst the rich folk of the area at that time to hold funerals at night, adding a dramatic twist to their sombre business. Ooh, goths. It suggested that children saw torches flickering in the churchyard, heard the clatter of horses' hooves, and so a sinister legend evolved to explain these sights and sounds. It is impossible now to find out which, if either, of these theories is right. But if you have the courage, however, it is perfectly plausible and perfectly possible to find out whether the legend itself has a basis in fact. Next time you hear an aged sailor passing away, wait 3 days. After the funeral has passed, then make your way at nightfall to the graveyard on Scarborough Road and wait through the night by the graveside. If you are lucky, I would say unlucky, but if you are lucky, you may be rewarded by the sight of a black coach pulled by headless black horses filled with ragged leering skeletons, summoning up a yellowed corpse by your feet. Although very unlikely still, because if you're going to wait for somebody to pass away and be buried in St Mary's Church, it says here the last burial was in 1858. So looks like that theory is going to have to stay a theory. Did you enjoy that? Is he still scratching cards down there? Let's have a look. He is, isn't he? Ooh, I hope he's won something. Come on, mate. We need to win. Win me some money. Should we read another story? Do you know what? I read that one. The next one I haven't read. So it'll be a treat for you and me. It's called Old Lisa. Seriously, I've not read this. This is me just reading it. So sit tight. Here we go. I should really do this at Halloween, shouldn't I? For many years after the death of old Lisa, St Mary's Churchyard at the top of the 199 steps, yeah, I walked all up those with Rachel, was closed on April the 24th, St Mark's Eve. Anyone peering over the walls after sunset on this day would see lanterns glinting here and there as the wardens patrolled the grounds to prevent anyone getting in. A careful observer might notice that the patrolling wardens went round the church only in a clockwise direction, fearful of seeing what old Lisa had seen many years before. Ooh. Old Lisa was one of the wise women or witches of the town and had been in the custom of visiting the church on St Mark's Eve. I've never heard of St Mark's Eve. I'll have to Google search that. She would shuffle away 3 times around the building in an anti-clockwise direction. So that's why the wardens went clockwise. And then she would wait in the porch until midnight, for it was believed that the souls of those who are to die in the following year would then appear. No other person in the town dared to visit the church on this night, and as a result, old Lisa was held in great reverence. Time after time, folk would try to get her to pass on the word of who was to die for the year. But she would twist her moustache lips. Time after time, folk would try to get her to pass on word who would die of the year, but she would twist her moustache lips together and keep her counsel, mumbling only, "I knows what I knows." It was one of her great pleasures in life to nod sagely at the funeral of one of her neighbours and say, I knew. Though many held her in great awe, believing she had some supernatural knowledge, some of the younger townsfolk doubted her, pointing out anyone could be as wise as Lisa, predicting her death after the event. One St Mark's Eve saw a great change in old Lisa. For many years, the fishermen, who are by nature superstitious, had paid the old witch a weekly retainer, a few pennies or so, fearing that she would curse their fishing if they failed to do so. That's a good little side gig, isn't it? But this particular year, after the habitual visit to the churchyard, she began to refuse the payments, telling them to treat themselves to a pint of ale at the board instead. I think I see where this is going. They would try to force their payment on her, but she would shake her head and hobble away muttering, I knows what I knows. She even knitted some worn socks for the single men. The children in Lisa's yard, who had once rushed by a house in terror at the old crone, were now likely to see her sitting on the doorstep peeling spuds or shelling the peas she grew on a steep cliff-side garden. They never went past that summer without her presenting them with some treat, a boiled sweet, a handful of her succulent peas, or a new dress for a favourite doll. Soon it came to be that if a child fell and cut its knee, it would run for comfort to old Lisa rather than its own mother. As winter drew on, less was seen of old Lisa. She would be seen on a Sunday going up the steps to St Mary's Church, 199, or occasionally visiting one of her poorer neighbours, giving them blankets to keep the bairns warm or other thoughtful presents. Then, in midwinter, an epidemic of pneumonia broke out and swept through the town. The funeral bell rang often from the church at the top of the steps. Old Lisa disappeared into the house and was not seen for over a week. The local children became curious, began to peek through her keyhole. They told the parents that she could be seen on her knees, hands uplifted, muttering prayers. As spring came on, the cruel epidemic passed, and another change in Lisa's behaviour became apparent. The children had begun to play out again, and naturally they played by the house where they had been so welcome the year before. Old Lisa would rush out of the house with a black scowl on her face, telling them to get back to their own yards or doorsteps. When she passed a single fisher lad, she would jab an accusing fingers towards her feet, muttering that she hadn't been paid yet. The day before St Mark's Eve, old Lisa was walking down Henrietta Street. She was doing the rounds, gathering up the presents she had given out the previous year. One of the neighbours, who she had until recently treated with kindness, stopped her by the foot of the 199 steps to ask her if she'd be going up to St Mary's the following evening. Lisa scowled at the intrusion, but then grinned and shook her head. No. She said, it's all nonsense, you know. Guess who I saw leading off the souls last year? You'll never guess. Now I know it's all nonsense. And thus muttering, Lisa turned to go. She had only gone a few yards when the brewery dray horse delivering to the Board Inn took sudden fright and collapsed down the road, crushed old Lisa beneath the iron-rimmed cartwheels. Passers-by rushed to her, but there was no saving the old woman. She had only time to grasp, Lord save my soul, it's true! And there on the street, old Lisa passed away. That is spooky stuff. That is spooky stuff. I went up those steps, and they are very steep. And the thought of anyone going up those steeps, going up those steps, is quite horrible. He's still scratching, isn't he? And you better not miss any numbers. You'll know you'll get told off. All right. It's quite nice, this. Leaving him to do all the work while I just read a book. Oh, the bells of St Hilda. St Hilda, founded an abbey at Whitby in 655 AD, and she was such an impressive woman that legends sprang up about her after her death. For instance, it was believed that the ammonite fossils that you may find in the rocks around Whitby were the bodies of snakes which she had hurled from the cliff, the abbey having suffered a plague of these creatures. Geese were also wonderfully influenced by St Hilda, and it was believed that they would fall to the ground as they passed the abbey as a sign of respect. People said that the bells in the abbey were so sweet that they could calm storms, and that they eventually attracted the attention of pirates. These wicked pirates stole the lovely bells, but failed to make any money from the crime, as their boat sank shortly afterwards. The bells, the boat, and the pirates lay to this day under the sea near Black Nap. The bells are said to ring under the water at Halloween, and anyone who hears them may call out the name of their true love to guarantee that they will marry them within a year. Oh, there you go. The bells are said to ring under the water at Halloween, and anyone who hears them may call out the name of their true love to guarantee they will marry them within a year. I wonder how many people, after reading that, have suggested going there on a holiday at Halloween. The waters from the Abbey well was supposed to have special properties, capable of curing all sorts of illnesses, and it is a little known fact that Winsby once had quite a reputation as a spa. We've got a spa not far from where I live. I sometimes get my scratch cards from there. Boom, boom, boom. Tss. There are no pictures today show you what St Hilda looked like, but you may wish to see her. Oh no, this is where the spooky bit goes. There are no pictures today to show us what St Hilda looked like, but you may wish to see her. If so, simply go to this well at 12 o'clock on a dark and moonless night. Peer down into it, and you're sure to see her face looking back up at you. As long as you've been good, that is. Wicked people are confronted with a face of the devil and carried off to hell. I don't think I'll take a chance on that one. Right. Yeah. Do you know what? If he hasn't finished by now, I'm gonna go down there. I'm just gonna give him a kick up the backside, tell him to get a move on. Right. I hope you enjoyed those stories, and Anna, you inspired me to read some stories for people, and let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed having a story read whilst you watched the cards being scratched. You never know. I might do it again. There is 13 stories in there, and I only read 3. Old Lisa. I mean, there's one in here about a really short pirate I read this bit. His legs were so short that people called him Old Gravel Arse. That's a story that's got to be told, isn't it? Anyway, let's watch the rest of these cards being scratched. I'm off to bed. As you can tell, my eyes are tired. Yes, there's a continuity error. I'm just giving the game away. I'm not really here whilst he's scratching. Anyway, let's go into the cards. Has he finished waffling? I bet he has. I bet he got bored, didn't he? Right, I know the inherent problem with this now. And I did cross my mind and I thought, do you know what? As I scratch these cards off, if I'm waffling away telling a story and I get a winner, I can't go, hooray, I got a winner. And I did, didn't I? I don't know if you noticed that as I was scratching away. So a line there and a line there. And a line there and a line there. Which gave me 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Which is 20 quid. So that was pretty spectacular, wasn't it? And there was a part of me that was like going, yay! But I was keeping my gob shut because I didn't want to interrupt the div. But yeah. So we're in profit by £5. And I got 1 card left to go. And I got no more stories to tell. So me and this, Highland cow or something like that, are going to see if we can get some more profit. And you can listen to me as I scratch the cards. Make sure you tell me in the comment sections what you think, by the way. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy me telling a story? It's just like Jackanory, wasn't it? 24. 70, 55, 74. I know I'm going to get slated in the comments. Somebody is going to go full throttle on it. But I thought I'd give it a try. 21, 27. 21, 27. Because if I'm honest, sometimes I get a little bit bored of just scratching cards. 21, 27. So it's nice to try something different. You may never see it again. Or it might become a regular feature. Who knows? Let me know in the comment section what you think. 25. 25. 51, 67. 51, 67. 51, 67. And yes, Rachel, I'm sure you'll be planning a trip to Whitby for the pair of us very soon. Oh, we got a win. This makes sure though, 67 and 72. Yeah, we got a win. Oh, I've only gone and got myself some more money. 41, 72, 41, 41, 72. Can I get a little more? Let's do 8 on its own first of all. 88. 32.50. 32.50. I've got to edit all this after this. Oh my days. I've really given myself a job, haven't I? 32.50. 32. 29.40. 29.40. 29.40. Or I keep hoping for one of those 14 or 15s to come up. 11. Let's do 11 on its own. 26 and 64. 26. 64. 26. 26. 64. Nope. 23, 73, 23, 73, 23. We've got a line, which is £3. Can you get £6 on this? Uh-oh, you can get £6 on this card. If I don't get another line, I know that's going to be £3. 23.73. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather have £6 than £3. 23.63. Come on, 39. 63, 19, 16. So let's do 63. 63, and then it was 16 and 19. And that's it, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. We've got two more. 4 and 57. 57. 57. 4. So, yeah, £6. I'm going to write it on, otherwise I forget. So £6 and £20. 26. Oh, hang on. Let's zoom out a bit, Paul. Come on, play the game. So £26. Woo! So £15 spent, 26 quid back. I made that £11 profit. Yeah, I like that. New scratcher, new technique, maybe a little bit of fresh air has brought a change in my luck. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed telling the stories as well. I mean, you can judge by yourself whether I'm a good storyteller or not. But yeah, £11. A bit of that Whitby magic has drifted through my channel. I love that. Absolutely loved. Well, of course, I'm going to love getting a profit session. But be gentle in the comment section. This isn't high quality production. It's me reading from a cheap book from Whitby in my living room while I also scratch cards in my kitchen. So be gentle. It's not going to be a Hollywood production. So, all right, I suppose all that's left is me to edit this beast of a video. Right, look after yourself and those you love, and please leave a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. You never know what's around the corner with me. I have lots and lots of little ideas that I might implement. So look after yourself and those you love. Cheer, everyone. Bye.